I've always been interested in movies with the exact same premise coming out at the exact same time. White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen, two movies about terrorists taking over the White House, both in theaters in 2013. Armageddon and Deep Impact, two movies about world-ending asteroids, both coming out in 1998. The Prestige and The Illusionist, two movies about rival magicians, both coming out in 2006. Ants and Bugs Life, both in 1998. Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached, both in 2011. There's more examples I could list. I actually have a whole video discussing this strange phenomenon. But what's even funnier than two movies with the exact same premises coming out at the exact same time is two movies with the exact same premises and the exact same titles coming out at the exact same time. A couple years ago, Blumhouse released a movie called Truth or Dare into theaters. It was an abomination, laughably bad throughout, one of the worst major horror movies I've seen in theaters. Recently, when I was browsing Netflix's horror section, I was shocked to find another horror movie titled Truth or Dare. This wasn't an alternate poster. Two of these were really made within a year of each other. As soon as I saw this, I knew I wanted to make a video comparing them, to finally answer the age-old question, which Truth or Dare movie is better? To do this, I will spend a little bit of time talking separately about each Truth or Dare movie's stories and major moments, say what each movie did better than the other in certain categories, before ultimately deciding which is the ultimate Truth or Dare movie. To begin, let's talk about the one I saw first, what I will be calling Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. This movie opens pretty innocently, with an unknown character going to a gas station and lighting a random woman on fire. From there, we meet our main character Olivia, a humanitarian YouTuber who is in the middle of a live stream advocating her followers to skip drinking and partying and instead join her in volunteering during spring break. We then meet Olivia's best friend Marky and her other friends, who reveal to Olivia they lied to the charity organization Olivia was going to help and said Olivia had shingles so that she could go to Mexico with them to party. Second scene of the movie, and they're lying to charities for personal gain. What an absolute masterclass in how to introduce likable characters. As the group loads up the car for the road trip, Olivia makes it very clear to the audience and any of the friends with a set of eyes that she has a big crush on Marky's boyfriend Lucas. Once they set off, we get a montage of their spring break highlights told over Snapchat footage. On the last day, the group parties at a bar, and in a total coincidence, the annoying guy from their school, Ronnie, just happens to run into them. What are the odds a guy from their school happens to not only be in Mexico, but in the same city and same resort as them? In one of my favorite scenes from this movie, a stranger flirts with Olivia and convinces the entire friend group, Ronnie included, to follow him, a stranger, to an abandoned building in the middle of nowhere in a foreign country. These people absolutely deserve whatever is coming to them for that level of stupidity. The group follows the stranger and they all play a game of Truth or Dare. The mystery guy reveals by playing the game in this specific building, the Truth or Dare curse has now been passed on to them and he runs away. I'm far enough into this discussion now that I have to talk about just how dumb the Truth or Dare demon looks. Seriously, what the fuck is this? How did anyone see this and think this would work? Every single time the face is on screen during what is supposed to be a tense, frightening scene, it completely undercuts the tension. How am I supposed to look at this and not burst out laughing? It is funny. They look more like they're in a Fruit Gushers commercial than a horror movie.
They're bursting! Blasting! Fruity blast!
Anyways, the group returns from Mexico. They each begin seeing signs of the curse. Ronnie is dared to dance on a table, and when he refuses, he snaps his neck. Marky is dared to break Olivia's hand with a hammer. One guy stabs himself in the eye with a pen during a college interview. The group begins to panic, and in a classic horror movie scene, begin investigating the curse. Their expert sleuthing even goes as far as typing Mexico Truth or Dare into Google. As the rest of the group investigates, alcoholic friend Penelope gets one of my favorite dares, where she has to down an entire 2-6 of vodka while walking along the side of a roof. Call me a sick, cynical son of a bitch, but every time I watch this scene, I can't help but laugh. The combination of her drinking and tightroping while her friends grab random backyard items to try to help out is so funny to me. These two friends are smart enough to grab a mattress, but don't think I missed Olivia grabbing a fucking patio table to help out. Lucas even climbs on the roof at one point to help her with words of encouragement. As a cherry on top, when Penelope swanton bombs off the roof and miraculously lands on a mattress, she delivers this line.
Is this my bed?
After the high-stakes roof scene, Olivia and friends go to meet with the pyromaniac girl from the opening scene, who reveals her friend group played the Curse Truth or Dare game before them. The girl explains a bit more about how the curse works before she is dared to shoot them. She tries to shoot Olivia, but Penelope dives in front of the bullet and dies. I find this writing decision baffling. It's not that I care about the Penelope character, or any of the characters for that matter, but it just doesn't make any sense. In the previous scene, we were supposed to be worried Penelope was going to die before she was miraculously saved. And in literally the very next scene, she just dies? Why not kill a different character here? Or why not have her just die in the last scene? What was the point of all that? What is the point of any of this? After Penelope is my dear sistered, Olivia is dared to have sex with Lucas. The two have sex, and Olivia makes the weird smiley face during. The remaining group goes back to the haunted abandoned building to try to kill the Truth or Dare demon. They fail, and Lucas dies. In the movie's grand finale, Olivia and Marky decide to post on Olivia's YouTube channel and dare the rest of the world to join their game. For some reason, a 3-minute video of a girl speaking nonsense to her phone goes just absolutely viral. So essentially, Olivia has decided to start a worldwide Truth or Dare apocalypse. That is this movie's ending. Alright, so that was Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. Now let's talk about what I'll be calling sci-fi's Truth or Dare. Funny enough, this version of Truth or Dare opens with someone also standing on a roof. Unfortunately, unlike Penelope from the previous movie, his big fall doesn't end so well. The other character goes inside, and we catch a glimpse of how this version delivers dares to its characters. The demon simply writes out the dares for them to read. While you could argue that's uncreative or the laziest possible way to deliver the dares, I would take that 1,000 out of 1,000 times over the stupid smiley face possessions from the Blumhouse version. The girl is dared to pour acid on her head, and in preparation covers herself in baking soda. I'd make a joke about that, but I have no clue if that's a plausible idea or not. I don't know jack shit about chemistry. Honestly, while watching, I thought that might just work. Though, judging by her screams, I'm not so sure it did. After the opening, we meet the lead of this Truth or Dare movie, Alex. Instead of the star of Pretty Little Liars, this movie managed to land the star of the 5 Sharknado films. As they're driving, we see Alex's friend Maddie has a crush on Alex's boyfriend. Not only the same plot point, it's revealed in the exact same way as the other movie. These two movies are weirdly similar so far. The group of future victims arrive at their location for their vacation. The group decides to drink and, surprisingly, decides to play a game of Truth or Dare. They write down some prompts and take turns. On Maddie's turn, she is asked if she slept with Alex's boyfriend Tyler. Maddie admits to it, and Alex runs off crying. The group looks through all the Truth or Dare cards and see a bunch they didn't write. As they're flipping through, they even see a card that says, "Do the dare or the dare does you." You see, that is this movie's tagline. It's even on the poster. That one line rivals the Blumhouse movie's smiley faces in terms of pure stupidity. Do the dare or the dare does you? What the fuck does that even mean? How does the dare do you? Is the dare gonna fuck these characters? Throughout this whole movie, characters say that line over and over again. They deliver it with complete and utter seriousness, as if that isn't the most absurd sentence they've ever heard.
Because I didn't do the dare did me.
I will say, I do like that when the group refuses to do the dares, household objects come alive like Beauty and the Beast and force them to complete them. For example, Tyler is dared and refuses to put his hand on a hot stove, so as a result, the dare does him, he's done by the dare. Tyler gets his hand burnt on a hot stove. The next dare is for a vegan girl to eat Tyler's burnt flesh. After that, Jason Mraz wannabe is dared to grab a live wire. This guy has his knee smashed in. This girl gets a truth question and lies about her drug addiction, so she gets impaled on a conveniently placed railroad spike on the front lawn. Shortly after, Video Guy is dared to hang himself. The Truth or Dare distributions are so unfair in this movie. Like, some people just have to reveal they take painkillers or have a single tooth pulled, whereas Video Boy has 2 choices, hang yourself or hang yourself. After he dies, that is the end of round 1. During the downtime, the movie takes the opportunity to have its own research scene. The group does some Googling and meets up with a female survivor from a previous game of Truth or Dare who turns out to be Heather Langenkamp. The group interviews her and she reveals she was the one who poured acid on her head, which you totally couldn't even tell if she didn't move her bangs. She then tries to explain the curse situation to these idiots.
If someone didn't answer a question or lied, they had to pay a price. A dare, if you will.
What does that have to do with us?
Hey Alex, you went to her specifically to explain the curse? She is explaining a cursed game of Truth or Dare. That might just have something to do with your situation, so maybe just let her finish before interrupting. At the same time, back in his dorm, Luke is dared to rob a gas station and a gun magically appears in his sheets. He tries to complete the dare, but the attendant shoots him to death with a shotgun. The remaining group goes back to the house to try to complete the game. Tyler is dared to drink some poison, so he shares the load with everyone and they all yarf throughout the living room. Maddie has to rip her teeth out. They all do some Russian roulette. Fedora guy gets run over by a car. Jesse is chained and devoured by cockroaches. With 2 survivors left, they each get one final dare. Maddie is dared to remove 7 body parts. First, they each remove an eyelash, which kind of seems like a cop-out to me. Then they remove a couple of other minor things like nails or fingers. It's pretty graphic. This kind of turns into Saw for 5 straight minutes. After that gross dare, the girls drive to the hospital, but on their way, Alex is dared to kill Maddie, and when she refuses, they both crash head-on into a tree. That is this movie's ending, and that is both Truth or Dare movies. These movies are strangely similar. A group of young adults go party in an empty house and play Truth or Dare, which starts a curse that picks them off one by one until there are only 2 female best friends remaining. Both have a douchey doctor character, both have a love triangle where a girl secretly loves her best friend's boyfriend, both interview a female survivor from the last game, both open with that surviving girl burning some skin, both have a scene on a roof, both have hand mutilation, and both are absolutely awful. There are a ton of similarities, but what is different about each movie? Did either movie do better than the other in a specific area? For the sci-fi one, I did appreciate this version is way more gnarly and creative with its dares than anything we saw in the other version. I don't really want to see people dare to do boring, lazy things like stand on a pool table. The whole promise of this kind of Truth or Dare premise is to see wacky, insane dares come to life. This movie had people using acid, poison, electricity, cockroaches, and limb dismemberment. The other version was gunning for a PG-13 rating, and was more bland in this department as a result. I like how this version had a strict timer for dares. The ticking time bomb did give it more stakes. I also liked how dares were communicated. It was simple, but allowed for creativity with dares coming from unexpected locations, being written on walls, on a piano, cards falling from the ceiling, on a door, GPS, in a magazine. I also liked how much time this movie spent on actual truth and dares. This is what we came to see. This version had 18 total in its 84-minute runtime, averaging out to 1 every 4.5 minutes. The Blumhouse version had 19 during its 98-minute runtime, averaging out to about 1 every 5 minutes. That does sound like a small difference, but when you break it down further, the sci-fi version had 15 dares and only 3 truths, while the Blumhouse had 10 dares and 9 truths. Nobody is here to see truths. I just want to see someone dare to stick their dick in a blender. As for what I liked about the Blumhouse version, it definitely is more polished. It feels like a much bigger movie, better sets, stunts, set pieces, higher profile actors, better cameras. This was a major movie released across the world, while the other I hadn't even heard of for years, and its lead character is best known for fighting flying sharks. I'd also probably say the characters here are better, but just barely. Both movies have pretty annoying nothing characters. The Blumhouse one does try a little harder to develop them, so I guess I'll give it an edge for being a hair less insufferable. I think the Blumhouse version did have a better ending. Yeah, it is a million times dumber, but it was more memorable. The other one just ended with a car crash. Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for everyone that somehow hasn't clicked out of the video yet, I will now reveal what I think is the ultimate Truth or Dare movie. That movie is Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. That's right, a twist ending. despite the other one having more positive individual aspects, despite me speaking more positively about the other one throughout the video, despite the other one having Heather Langenkamp, I still have to go with Blumhouse's Truth or Dare as the ultimate Truth or Dare movie. I've seen this terrible movie 5 times now. It's just so dumb and fun, I can't explain it. I have no logical explanation. The heart just wants what it wants, and if I'm gonna watch a Truth or Dare movie, I'm riding with the smiley-faced shitfest. That is my comparison of the 2 Truth or Dare movies. Did you agree with my decision? Have you seen either of these? Am I wasting my life comparing bad horror movies no one cares about 3 years after they came out? Let me know with a comment down below. If you stumbled upon this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I post new horror rants, commentaries, and deep dives on Fridays. On Saturdays, I post horror shorts. As well, on Mondays, I post quick 1-minute recommendations for horror movies available to watch on Shudder, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. I genuinely appreciate every bit of support. Every day I get closer to my ultimate goal of being able to shill NordVPN to all of you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week where I'll be teaching a whale to jump out of its tail.